After catching my own family laughing about how easily they could walk all over me, I stopped covering their bills. Now they're hanging by a thread, close to losing everything, while I'm finally living free, knowing they've got no power over me anymore. Just a few nights ago, I was still that nice 29-year-old named Allison who honestly thought her family loved her. But all it took was one little notification to shatter that belief. I was cooking dinner when my phone lit up with a message. It was from my cousin, and I smiled at first, thinking it'd be another silly video of that ginger cat she always sends me. But the second my mom's voice came through, my stomach dropped. Allison should be grateful. She'd be nowhere without this family. My face burned. I almost stopped the video right then, but I kept watching. The footage was wobbly, clearly recorded by accident, but the voices were unmistakable. I wouldn't even miss her if she dropped dead tomorrow, my dad laughed. That's our Allison. At least she's good for one thing, the money. More laughter followed. I gripped my phone so hard, my knuckles turned white. Then I heard my cousin, the very same one who sent the clip. If Allison ever stops sending cash, she said, proud as can be, we'll just guilt her. She's way too soft to say no. Works every time. I sat there completely numb. They weren't talking about me like family. I was a walking bank machine to them, something to squeeze dry whenever they pleased. All these years I'd been over backward for them, skipped trips, pulled double shifts, gave up on my doctoral dissertation, just to keep them afloat. And this is what they thought of me? That I was pathetic. Weak. A joke. For a second I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe my cousin sent the video to warn me? But that feeling didn't last long. The video disappeared. Then came a new notification. This message has been unsent. She realized her slip-up. Maybe she was sitting somewhere, heart pounding, praying I didn't see it in time. I should have called her out. I should have texted back and confronted them all. But I didn't. I just set my phone down. Because I understand that people underestimate me and they will become pleasantly surprised. Except in their case, the surprise wouldn't be pleasant. At first I curled up on the couch and stared at a blank wall for hours. Their words rang in my ears. Allison should be grateful. A total disappointment. Too soft to ever say no. And the truth? They weren't wrong, not back then. I had been a pushover. I let myself believe my dad's temporary money issue somehow stretched into 5 years of me covering his mortgage. My brother's college bills? I paid them too, right up until he dropped out 2 semesters in. And mom's endless emergencies? Always conveniently timed with my paydays. I funded family vacations I wasn't even invited to because I was stuck working extra shifts to pay for them. And I never questioned it. I thought that's just what family does. But that video? It ripped the blinders right off. Suddenly I could see everything clearly. And now? Now I had something they didn't leverage. They thought they'd fooled me. Their next payment was due in a few days. But this time? I had different plans. The next morning felt off, like the air had shifted. Sunlight came through the blinds the same as always, and my coffee tasted fine. But I felt detached, like I was watching my own life from the outside. Like I'd been sleepwalking through years of it and had finally snapped awake. Then came the message. It was my mom. Good morning, sweetie. Just checking in. Hope you're okay. I stared at it, suspicious. She never texts just to check in. And sure enough, right after came the follow-up. Oh, by the way, rent's due. Can you send it by Thursday? Love you. There it was. Same old playbook. Only now I could see the strings. The love you felt especially fake, just another trick to keep me under control. Out of habit, I started typing something like, of course, or no worries. Might have even apologized for being late. But this time, I hit backspace. I typed 4 words instead, I can't this month. Then I set my phone down and waited, heart pounding. For little words I'd never dared to say before. A minute passed. Then 2. What do you mean you can't? She replied. I could feel the panic radiating from her message. Of course she was shocked. I'd never said no before. Not once in all these years had I said no to them. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I took a slow sip of my coffee, letting her sit in the silence, stewing in uncertainty. Then the flood started. Allison, this is serious. We're depending on you. You know we have no one else. Then came a text from my cousin. Hey girl, your mom's freaking out. Everything okay? I almost laughed. Everything okay? Everything was better than okay. Because for the first time in my life, I had taken my power back. I took a deep breath and replied. Had some unexpected expenses. Can't send anything this month. I added a shrug emoji just to twist the knife. No long apology. No explanation. And the silence that followed said more than any words ever could. They didn't know how to handle it. For once, I had stepped out of the role they'd assigned me. And they had no script for that. My mom was scrambling, probably cycling through all her usual tricks, trying to find one that would still work. But me? I knew exactly what I was doing. I was playing the long game. Finally, her reply popped up. What do you mean, unexpected expenses? What's more important than your family? There it was. The guilt trip. Classic. Predictable. Almost comforting in its familiarity. I didn't answer. I just set my phone down and went to pour another cup of coffee, giving her more time to unravel. Not even a full minute later. You know your brother can't make rent on his own. If he gets evicted, that's on you. The brother card. They always knew which levers to pull. But this time they weren't getting a reaction. Something inside me had hardened, cold, clear and untouchable. We raised you, Allison. We took care of you when you had nothing. Is this how you repay us? My jaw locked tight. I clenched the phone in my hand. When I had nothing, I thought I had no one. They didn't support me. I supported myself. I put myself through school, working nights and studying days. I held down multiple jobs just to move out of their house. And the second I started earning real money, they latched on like leeches. If I had nothing, it was because they took everything. And now they were rewriting history, painting themselves as heroes in a story I barely survived. Another buzz. Allison, sweetie, don't do this. We're family. Your mom's just upset. You know how she gets. Just send the money and it'll all be fine. Fine for who? For them. While I kept trading in my dreams just to keep them afloat. I sat the phone down. My heart was thudding in my chest. I needed a second. I walked to the kitchen, poured myself some water and stared at the clock. Something was shifting inside me. For so long I'd been terrified of this moment. Afraid they'd cut me off. That they'd hate me for standing up for myself. That I'd lose them forever. But now I knew. They never loved me. They loved my money. They loved what I gave them. And now, with nothing left to take, they were finally showing me who they really were. Then I received a new message. It was from my dad. Allison, I don't know what's gotten into you. But this is completely unacceptable. You're being selfish. This family needs you and you're acting like some entitled brat. Grow up and do the right thing. There it was. No more pretense. No more sugary guilt trips. Just raw, unfiltered entitlement. The mask had slipped. As I stared at the message, another notification appeared. A voice note. From my cousin. My thumb hovered over the play button. Something told me this one would be different. She never used voice notes, usually preferred text with just enough fake warmth to keep me off balance. But not this time. I pressed play. Her voice came through sharp, irritated. Allison, listen. I don't know what game you think you're playing, but this isn't funny. Your mom's losing it. Your dad's furious. And honestly, I don't blame them. I braced myself. You've always been, I don't know, a little ungrateful? But this is beyond selfish. My stomach twisted, but I kept listening. You've got a good job. You make more than any of us. You don't need that money. Meanwhile, your family is struggling. And what, one day you just decide none of that matters. A bitter little laugh escaped her. You owe them, Allison. After everything they've done for you, all the sacrifices, they gave you life. And now you're just walking away? Pretending they don't exist? What kind of daughter does that? She paused, one long breath. And I thought maybe that was it. But then her voice dropped lower. You know what? If you really want to be that kind of person, fine. Just don't expect forgiveness. And don't come crawling back when you realize how much you need them. Because once you cross this line, there's no coming back. The voice message ended. Silence. I sat there, thumb hovering over the replay button. My ears rang. My hands were numb. The audacity of it all was almost impressive. Not a single word asking if I was okay. No concern. No curiosity. Only panic because their human bank had suddenly stopped working. I should have been shaken. But instead I felt something else. Calm. Peace. More than that, liberation. She had confirmed everything I'd feared and somehow always known. They didn't love me. They didn't respect me. They didn't even see me as a person. I was a resource. A wallet. And now that I wasn't dispensing cash, I had no value. Well, maybe it was time to be worthless. To them. My phone buzzed again. A message from my mom. Last chance, Allison. Send the rent. No words, I love you. We're worried. Just the command stripped of even the illusion of care. I stared at it for a long time. Then with hands that no longer trembled, I blocked her. Then my dad. Then my cousin. One by one, I cut the strings. And just like that, for the first time in years, I was free. Or so I thought. Because the next morning, just after sunrise, there was a knock at my door. At first I thought it might be a neighbor. A package. A mistake. But deep down, I already knew. The second knock was louder. More impatient. More entitled. I took a breath, steeled myself, and opened the door. There stood my brother. Wrinkled clothes. Bloodshot eyes. Jaw clenched in that familiar way he always wore when he didn't get what he wanted. Are you serious, Allison? He said. His voice was sharp and raw. What the hell is wrong with you? But I didn't flinch. I kept my face neutral. I said, good morning to you too. He scoffed and raked a hand through his messy hair. Don't act like this is no big deal. You blocked everyone. Mom's freaking out. Dad's livid. You're just what? Cutting us off? Pretending we don't exist? I folded my arms. Leaned on the doorframe. I don't know, Eric. Maybe I just got tired of being treated like a wallet. His jaw ticked. Oh my God. Not this again. Not this again? I laughed, but it was bitter hollow. I've paid your rent. Your bills. Your groceries. Your Netflix, for crying out loud. And the one time I say no? Suddenly I'm the villain. He opened his mouth, probably to deny it, but I didn't give him the chance. And don't act like you care about me. I stared him down. I saw the video. His face went pale. What video? Fake confusion. Terrible acting. I smiled ice cold. You know exactly what video. He looked away, shifting his weight, guilt crawling over his skin. Look, it wasn't serious, okay? We were just joking. You're being dramatic. Joking? My voice dropped to a whisper, sharp as broken glass. You all sat around laughing, calling me pathetic. A failure. Saying I should be grateful for the privilege of paying for everything. I took a step closer. Do you know what that feels like, Eric? To hear your own family talk about you like that. He exhaled, rubbing his face. Allison, come on. No, you come on. I was done letting them talk circles around me. You want money? Get a job. You want someone to carry you? Find someone else. Because I'm done. For a moment, something flickered in his expression, shame maybe. Or regret. But it vanished just as quickly. His face twisted. Fine, he snapped. You want to be a selfish bitch? Go ahead. But don't come crawling back when you realize you've got no one. He turned, stomped to his car, slammed the door, and drove off. I stood in the doorway, chest tight, but spine straight. Because he was wrong. I did have someone left. I had me. And for the first time in years, that was enough. As I stepped back inside, my phone buzzed again. My mother's name lit up the screen. I didn't answer. Not this time. Not ever again. Her demands. Her guilt trips. All the times she twisted my sense of responsibility until I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I was done. I flipped my phone face down and walked away. Because the truth was simple. I was no longer their safety net. And I never would be again. Done with the lies. Done with the manipulation. They'd never once asked how I was doing. I'd carried their weight for years. And for what? They acted like I owed them for existing. Like my life was just one long repayment plan for their supposed sacrifices. No one had ever asked what I needed. No one had ever cared. But now I was taking control. The next morning I sat in my living room, letting the silence settle in around me. It felt heavy. Foreign. But not unwelcome. This was what it felt like to choose me. No regrets. Just the unfamiliar weight of freedom. Then the doorbell rang. The knock was impatient. Insistent. I didn't need to look, I already knew. Eric again. I opened the door slowly, meeting his eyes without flinching. Allison, he said, voice softer than before. The arrogance was gone. Replaced with something almost desperate. You need to listen to me. I didn't move. Didn't step aside. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. I don't need to listen to anything. He blinked, caught off guard. No, you don't understand. Mom's freaking out. Dad won't stop calling. They don't know how to fix this. You can't just cut everyone off. You're leaving us hanging. I let out a short, cold laugh. Oh, I'm sorry, did you think I'd just keep enabling all of you? Keep paying your rent, your bills, pretending everything was normal? I shook my head. No, Eric. I'm done. I'm not the family bank account anymore. I don't care how much you beg. His expression twisted with frustration. You're acting like we've never done anything for you. Like we're just users. I'm not acting, I said evenly. I know what I've been to you. A free ride. That ends now. He clenched his fists. You can't just leave us like this. You owe us, Allison. There it was. The line I'd been waiting for. I didn't flinch. Didn't blink. I just smiled. Oh, you? I've given you everything. I paid for your apartment, your groceries, your life while you sat back and let me bleed dry. And now you have the audacity to talk about owing. His voice dropped venomous now. You'll regret this. You'll regret cutting us off. I laughed again, but this time it felt good. No, Eric. You will. Because I'm not the one who needs you. And without waiting for another word, I slammed the door in his face. I could hear him swearing on the other side. But it didn't touch me. For the first time in my life, his anger didn't scare me. It didn't control me. It didn't mean anything. But I knew this wasn't the end. They wouldn't go down quietly. That night, my phone buzzed with a text from my father. Text was, "We raised you, Allison. Don't think you can walk away from everything we've done. You're making a huge mistake. Come back. We'll talk. We'll fix this." I could hear the desperation behind the false bravado. The panic of a man realizing his safety net had vanished. I stared at the message. I could have blocked him. Could have tossed the phone and never looked back. But no. I had a better idea. I wasn't just going to block them. I was going to make them confront every lie. Every moment they took me for granted. Starting now. I went to my desk and opened my laptop. It was time to send a message they'd never recover from. I stared at the screen, fingers steady. They weren't going back into my life like nothing had happened. This time I was the one pulling the trigger. I pulled every financial record I had. Every bill I'd paid. Every wire transfer. Every so-called emergency I'd cleaned up. Years of sacrifices. Years of stolen time and stolen dreams. All because they thought I existed to serve them. As I scrolled through the evidence, one thing became crystal clear. I could have built an empire. Instead, I built them a safety net they set on fire. I drafted an email. At the top I wrote, "Here's the cost of your entitlement. I'm finished being your servant, your crutch." I attached everything, every payment, every proof of betrayal. I wanted them to choke on the truth. Then I hit send. But I wasn't finished. I opened the family group chat. I scrolled through the years of demands, guilt trips, fake emergencies, crocodile tears. Then I wrote, "You never supported me. You drained me dry and called it family. Congratulations. You're cut off. Permanently." I sent it without a second thought. The silence that followed wasn't peace. It was victory. They could drown in their own chaos. I wasn't coming back. No more second chances. No more phone calls at midnight. No more rescues. Just when I thought it was over, a final pathetic message blinked onto my screen. It was Eric. "You're making a mistake, Allison. You'll regret this. Family sticks together." I laughed out loud. The kind of laugh that comes when you realize the villain thinks they're still in charge. They had no power over me. Now they had nothing. I turned off my phone and closed the door on that chapter of my life. Not with sadness. Not with regret. With satisfaction. This wasn't some quiet liberation. It was payback. They didn't just lose their safety net tonight. They lost me. The only thing that ever kept their broken world standing. Let them fall. Let them rot. I had better things to build. For myself. They built their empire on my back. Now they could watch it burn.